What is going on, guys? Lottery Stocks here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel if you're new. Today we have a lot of stuff to cover, and I'm going to leave timestamps under the video. All I ask you guys to do before we get into all the information that we have to cover is to please hit the like button. It helps me out. Get this video to 1,000 likes. Hit that subscribe button. Join us on this journey to financial freedom. Without further ado, let's get into it. So the S&P 500 has finally broken out and reached an all-time high, trading at 482.43 at the close of Friday. And in yesterday's video, we said if you don't see volume follow through, we're going to see chop trading and then a potential fall back below this level of 477.50. Last time the SPY had chop at this level, double top, broke above, it got smacked back down. Watch for more consolidation or volume follow through. However, we did see volume follow through, picked up on the 17th, the 18th, and then as well as yesterday on the SPY. As of right now, this is a beautiful looking breakout for the overall market. However, you could easily see that it is at resistance where it is trading at right now. If you were to have another parallel channel right here, matching the support. SPY is making higher highs, higher lows, matching a support as well as resistance level on a way up, trading in a parallel channel, ping-ponging back and forth. So we did get a breakout of the flat top. However, we didn't break out of a parallel channel that you would essentially see right here. What does this mean? Well, in my opinion, it's showing strength coming into the Fed meeting. At least right now, it is way too early to say. I'm watching that $500 level. However, this in the more macro perspective is better for our plays, such as AMC as well as GameStop. AMC, we know Ethereum Classic has climbed up and has been taking a little bit of a cool off before getting another rip, and they track exactly together, AMC, XRP. And the overall crypto market is overall getting a little bit of a cool off. But with the SPY hitting an all-time high and AMC tracking exactly what we've been tracking with it, everything is playing out very good coming into the new week. Yes, we missed the options expiration this week with the largest option chain, but we kind of expected that to happen. Now, AMC coming into the week, coming up to 525, down to 475, and then ripping is something I assume to see. However, it could play out different, right? We could just absolutely fly. Remember, short sellers were down 200 billion in 2023, and 2023 ended the year with the SPY around 473, and now we are around 483. So you could just imagine how much short sellers are down. Not to mention, every single time AMC and GameStop ran, the SPY was climbing. So this is a good thing to see. Short sellers are getting smoked. We also talked yesterday about China's largest brokerage banning short selling. If you haven't seen that video, go watch that. It was yesterday's upload. GameStop recently filled the gap, stair-stepping higher. We want to see a break out of this demand zone. It is now using it as resistance. Not the most bullish thing to see, but again, watch for volume follow through, hopefully on GameStop. Now, MMTLP decision on watch. I want to watch out for this because the ruling will potentially reveal the market makers that made MMTLP tradable, and the rulings can come out any day now. Ruling to release MMTLP blue sheet data. The case is in the New York Supreme Court Appellate Division, and the defendant is FINRA. Moving on, yesterday we thought Bitcoin was going to break right below this channel, right below the support channel that it had, and it did, but it came back up and now it is basing above it. I think they are just flashing Bitcoin down to try and scare retail out of their positions so that BlackRock and other entities can scoop up more shares, because that is essentially what has been happening over the past couple of weeks. Legitimately little shakeouts. Now, we could see a nosedive right before the halving, but it's way too hard to try and time that. In my opinion, I am accumulating more until we get into the halving event, which is very soon. Now, Cathie Wood buys more Tesla stock on a dip and keeps on cutting her Coinbase stake. I want to talk about Tesla right now, and then we're going to move on to some stocks that you guys wanted me to cover, as well as a stock I want you guys to watch coming into the weekend, some additional stuff as well. Cathie Wood has just purchased 20 million worth of Tesla stock, but this is not the second time. This is the third time. So about $60 million dumped in Tesla stock as of right now by Cathie Wood, betting extremely bullish on it. On top of that, Tesla has started hiring for their Mexico plant. Now, audio stocks, this isn't a big deal. It is because other makers, other EV makers are actually cutting employees. Finally, before we get into Tesla's chart, we are seeing some ghost orders, multiple of them, having reached very high price levels. 308, 291, which could essentially give us a front run that we are going to fill a gap higher. Take that with a grain of salt. However, coming into the new week, Tesla has earnings January 2024. Now, I want to show you guys the previous Tesla earnings and what had happened. Taking a look at the previous one, we had a gap down. Taking a look at the previous one before that, we had a gap down. The one before that, we had a gap down. This is very scary. However, the one before that, we had a major gap higher. Now, this is interesting, right? How are we going to time it? Well, you really can't. There's a couple things that I wanted to point out. Tesla does have a dangerous gap fill all the way down here, around 155 to 146-ish, that has never been filled from the previous jump in earnings. And no, it doesn't have to get filled. It doesn't have to get filled just yet, but they are likely to get filled. I think Tesla is going to obviously have a gap one way or the other because that is how earnings is. It is a very, very volatile stock for one of these catalysts. In my opinion, I think Tesla is going to do pretty well on earnings, and I hope we get a gap higher. But again, there is that danger for that gap fill down here. Tesla selling off in earnings makes me think that there is more room for upside. Just like back here, we had a large sell-off into the earnings and then gapped higher and started this bull cycle. And the other previous gap downs just brought Tesla exactly where we wanted it to go. So the algos are almost programmed here to bring Tesla where it should be going. And if it should be going in this bull cycle, which I think it is, Tesla should have a gap higher. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Now, somebody's been mentioning to cover AQST. I'm going to cover this real quick. AQST is making higher highs and higher lows. However, on the large time frame, it is a failing company. It is a falling stock. As of right now, it was testing the top of the Bollinger Bands. I had those in here. And it also has a gap fill to the upside around 470 to 485, which is also that level at the fib. I think AQST has a chance to come up here, and I would probably let it go at that point because that would be a nasty gain from 244 to around 480, right? Not to mention, AQST has earnings coming up on March 5th of 2024, and their previous earnings, they gapped higher. Their previous earnings also looked extremely, extremely well. So if you were thinking about getting into this stock over the long term, now might be the time, but you want to continue to see growth in their earnings. Now, they did beat previous earnings, the one before and the one before that. However, there were some things to look into, like the net change in cash, the previous revenue, etc., etc. But overall, their financials look extremely well. Their short interest is only around 3%, so it is not a short squeeze play by any means. And the technicals on TradingView give it a buy rating. So overall, I wouldn't be mad with riding this thing up to that level. Just know that it is at resistance currently. AQST is probably going to cool off a little bit before getting that another leg up. Somebody also wanted me to cover SOFI, and there's not really much to say here, and the reason for that is because it has the same exact chart as of right now as AQST. I think it has the same exact potential to come back up and test this fib level right around $9.25 and potentially fill a gap to $9.60 on SOFI. SOFI, however, their financials are not looking too hot. I wouldn't jump in for the long term, and this is also very risky. If anything, I would jump in with a short stop on SOFI. It also broke back into this parallel channel, which is not something that you want to see. I also wanted to give a quick touch on TMF. TMF and Bitcoin were my long-term safe holds for this year, and as of right now, TMF has been scaling down. I am just waiting for the Fed to cut rates. Now, if TMF gets extremely bearish, there is a gap fill down here to around $42.50, which is very scary. And I think that is possible because TMF essentially has a failing chart. I didn't put all my eggs into this basket, but I am watching it, and I am going to hold it for the entire year, most likely. Before we get into some additional stuff, guys, get in the Discord. The link is right under the video. We talk stocks in there all day long. We have options trading alerts. I'm in there on the daily. We post gains, post losses, and overall, this is the best place to go to come talk stocks and level your trading journey up. It's a coffee a month. The link is under the video. Get in here. And also, the ones who've signed up, opened an account with Moomoo and made a deposit, which takes 2 minutes out of your day, have been earning some serious benefits, such as free stocks that they are selling to buy AMC, and some of them are just leaving that cash in there to earn 8% on over the next couple of months, 8.1%. So there's no reason not to do so. Use my link, sign up for Moomoo, and make a deposit. It can literally be a penny. Plus, in my opinion, a platform that is better than the other ones, especially Robinhood, but Webull, E-Trade, etc., has a great interface, a customizable earnings calendar, and gives you level 2 order book data for free. Moving on. New Hampshire judge dismisses lawsuit to remove President Donald Trump from the ballot in the 2024 election. I want you to keep your eyes on DWAC. I made a short about it the other day. It was up 3% on Friday, $26.38. This is the fourth test on this line, and the fourth test is usually a breakout. Previously, a few days ago, I said I'm looking for that 24% gain up to the fib, which is around $32 or $31.80 to be exact. I still think that has potential to get hit and potentially even go higher, and I think DWAC will be doing good on Monday, especially with this news with Trump as well as the volume picking up. Now, China has been crashing. China's $6.3 trillion stock sell-off is getting uglier by the day. They just banned short selling, and the Shanghai Composite Index fell below a 20-year trend line. China is not doing too hot at all whatsoever, and a lot of collateral is held over there. Speaking of collateral, RIP small banks. You can see small bank cash has been just dumping off. Once BTFP pulled, which is the bank term funding program, small banks and medium banks are going to go under, in my opinion, this year, and it's not going to be good. Finally, here are the earnings for this week. We will be talking about them in Discord, but of course, Tesla is the one that we are paying attention to, and there are a ton of other important ones that we could definitely be playing. So get in the Discord, guys. That is what I got for you for today's video. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Turn post notifications on. I love you all. Lottery Stocks out.